Okay, I guess we are live now. Hello, everyone. My name is Mateusz Konieczny. I'm Tech Evangelist, and today we are going to talk about how to drive AI adoption in your engineering team. Just quite a broad topic. Let's agree that AI is actually something that we must adopt our teams, and the very question is how to drive it. Today we'll talk about it with Michał Skibicki, AI manager at STX Next. Michał, could you tell something about yourself?
Okay, yeah. First of all, Mateusz, thanks for having me here. And so, yeah, it's a pleasure to speak with you today, and I hope also our audience will find something interesting for themselves. As for my intro, you've obviously mentioned the key facts. Yes, I work as AI manager in STX Next, which means artificial intelligence is my main area of focus, right? I work closely with our ML team and our clients on different levels of cooperation, whether it is scoping, starting of the project, or during the execution. I've got a background in software development, project management, and product management, and I really like to use those perspectives in my work to help our clients build, valuable products instead of the AI feature-only products. And I'm sure you know what I mean here. So yeah, that's me.
Thank you. And today we are going to talk a lot about how to drive AI adoption. There are many aspects that we'll talk about. Before webinar event, we mentioned about the psychological side of AI adoption. So there are quite a lot of aspects that actually impacts this adoption. And I will start with such a scenario. I think that it's quite many companies may face it nowadays. Let's say that we have a software company that has properly set software delivery process, and everything is fine. There is a craftsmanship, there is quality, clients are actually satisfied. And then there are companies that say that they are going to develop twice faster. And there is quite a disturbance. The question now is, how should we actually react to such a situation? How we should actually catch up, and where should we even actually start?
Okay. Yeah, a big one for the beginning, huh?
Exactly.
and it's like, that's the classic the game just changed scenario, right? You're cruising along, everything is green, all good, and suddenly you've got like, oh my gosh, something happened, right? And it's like a wake-up call for sure. So where do we start? First thing probably is to avoid panic, like no panic. We need to take a deep breath and then do a deep dive into, for example, what this competitor or competitors are actually doing. Are they using AI to supercharge their development process, like, having AI copilots code or automated tests, or is it the AI a core feature of their product, making it smarter for the user or anything like that? So understanding their how is key, not just to copy, but to learn and to understand the options, opportunities. And then after that, I would say we should look inward. Where can AI give us the biggest boost? Maybe it's automating the tedious stuff that eats up our devs' time, like, I don't know, regression testing or sifting through logs, anything like that. The ultimate goal would be probably to free up, free up their time for the brainy, creative work. So I would say it's not about a mad dash to catch up by copying everything. It's more about smart, strategic adoption of AI to to amplify what we already do well, and to open up for new possibilities.
Yeah, exactly. And you said about strategic approaches. As you can see, there are many aspects. It's like code generation is one of them. There is testing, there is documentation, there is gathering requirements and processing them in order to deliver business value. And as you said, as you mentioned on start, it's like we are in a scenario that everything is working, is fine. The library is working, and we need to change it. It's like we need to adapt it a little bit, but actually it's quite a challenge. And let's jump into a scenario that we are facing a new project, and we have quite well delivered process, craftsmanship, quality, and so on. But we need to introduce usage of AI in this project, and there is a team that has no experience. Is it fine to just jump into such a environment with AI? Let's say, for example, Cursor AI, and let them just try to use the tool and learn. And it's like you have a tool and just use it, or it's like we need to prepare a team in order to use AI. How do you see it?
And I would say it's a mixture of both. But maybe let's start with this. It's tempting to see AI as a silver bullet, like to speed things up. But throwing a brand new, unfamiliar technology at a team under pressure, for example, like now you have to use it, now you have to deliver something faster, that's like asking someone to, I don't know, learn to juggle while walking on a tightrope. Like it sounds like a recipe for something bad at the end. So probably this rush is not very necessarily. And as I said, I would approach it from two ways. Definitely, it should be like bottom up, where you give some time opportunities for people to to try different tools, different things, and do some experiments, right? But on the other hand, you've got this strategic direction, which is really crucial here. Without the good approach, or the approach that is thoroughly planned by the leadership team, it's really hard to maintain the right pace of change, to evaluate things, for example, to check whether this adoption is moving forward or not, or even check whether we are achieving our goals, something that we really would like to, instead of just treating AI as a cool toy that now we can use, but without the big benefits or purpose at the end, right?
Yes, and my question here is, it's like we have a case of project that was quite short, with a short deadline. Actually, it lasted 2 weeks with the developers, and they didn't know AI tool. They jumped there with this tool. They knew that there is a risk that they may not actually use it perfectly. And actually, what happened, it was like they delivered the project, they delivered even more, and then they estimated that probably they were twice faster without this tool. And as you said, that probably we should have a strategy, a more strategic, manageable approach. But actually, there are also scenarios that unmanaged approach to AI also works. And the question is whether should we always? Maybe the question is is it okay just to give this a tool and let's see what happens? Or is it like you see a risk that it may not work in some scenarios? For example, legacy, big applications, not prototyping. What do you think about that?
Yeah, like, that's why I said it's the two-way road, like from the bottom and from the top. Just of course, in your case, for example, you need this short-term strategy or short-term approach, right? Okay, let's use it, and we've got a very very clear rules or places where we would like to use this tool. And we know that we will be using it in terms of augmentation. Like, it's not a silver bullet that will now write the entire code base for us, but we will use it to, augment our skills to move with things faster. But on the other hand, there is this problem of scaling this approach. Of course, you can use it for the short term, and you may, achieve some good results. But later, without the long-term strategy that is very often mostly guided or prepared by the leadership team, it's hard to maintain this pace of change and also scale it to other teams, or even improve, because you will be in this one team, one small silo bubble, and what's next, right?
Yeah, exactly. And talking about scaling is like we can also talk about scaling to other teams, but also scaling in this current team. So it was like I've asked a question like, okay, you finish that project, but if you need to rejoin and just continue developing this project, are you okay with the quality of AI, what it produced and so on? And they were like, okay, it maybe not it's perfect in terms of quality. It's not like human touched. Let's call it. But when I asked whether it is fine for them, for example, not to use it, they said no. We really need it. We really want to use it. And the final feedback was, we feel more confident in what we are doing. And that was amazing, because we are not talking about measuring it in velocity or any other metrics measures. They actually told me that it was about confidence, and confidence is actually what is really hard to measure. And I don't know, maybe you have some similar scenarios or thoughts about how to measure AI adoption in terms of just successful adoption of this approach.
Okay, that's a hard topic, and definitely measuring is crucial in terms of when you're building or shaping the strategy of this transformation or moving towards usage of AI tools. You definitely need some kind of metrics or something that will help you. Basically, it's not about verifying or checking whether the team is doing what you said, but it's more about looking whether we are moving in the right direction, whether this approach is helping us. And it's easier when you've got those tangible areas, metrics that you can later say, like, oh, okay, we've got this, I don't know, percent of team members who are using this tool in this percentage of, I don't know, areas, or our unit tests are generated in this particular percentage thanks to AI support or anything like that. It's good to set those metrics, as long as they are, really valuable for your team and product, instead of just running, oh, now everyone has to use it, and we need 100% of test coverage, and everything should be done with AI, because later you may end up in a situation where the team will be playing the metrics, right? Something you basically don't want to have when they've got unrealistic metric or metric that is not aligned with their process or their product or the product they are building, right? But they have to play with the metric and gamble there a bit. So yes, the short answer is yes, you need those metrics. The hard part is how to set them correctly, and it's very, very custom, I would say, here, depending on your processes.
Yeah, exactly. And what you mentioned is basically a Gotthard's law. Is like when you put a bad measure into the process, it may backfire. Actually, it's like let's measure a team with story points of pull requests done by AI. It's like, okay, so it's easy to actually improve because I'm just doing more pull requests done by AI, but it's not actually saying whether it's there is bigger outcome, whether there is bigger value in that, and it's extremely hard to measure. And as I said before, it's like confidence is like it's unmeasurable actually, but we can agree that in some part it's like it has an impact on productivity, and productivity actually means also delivering more business value. And how would you manage a situation like let's say a company just wants to they say make projects twice faster and using AI, and how to explain them the aspect of metrics, how to manage actually expectations of using AI realistically, because what I see is like everyone just says that it's much faster, okay, but how to actually just to explain management and so on, how to actually measure it, how to actually approach it, and just make adoption actually valuable.
Yeah, it's also very, very common, I would say. And it's like, the problem of AI will solve the world hunger by the next quarter, right? That's the expectation. Or something like expectation from the leadership. And let's say it's totally understandable given the hype we've got currently about the AI. But our job here is to be the voice of something I would call like optimistic realism. Like you have to remain optimist, but still there is this reality part. I would probably go with something like first starting with education, right? Gently but firmly, of course, where AI is a journey. It's not a jetpack, and I would explain that while it has incredible potential, seeing those headline results takes time, learning, and very often a shift in how we work, which companies are not ready for this shift very often. So those velocity doubled stories, for example, they are often a result of long-term strategies or very specific use cases. Companies, were preparing to reach this state, and it's not that easy to copy it in like, from the next month, we will use all the available AI tools and we will double our velocity or anything like that. And this one is connected also with another thing. It's probably more than just a tool. We are speaking about AI as a tool, but implementing AI, isn't just about buying some software, right? It's about new skills, process, changes, and integration. So you have to think about those small steps you can take here what sort of, I don't know, small AI projects you can run that later can help you build this confidence you mentioned, build those skills. We've got this, learning curve that is, extremely important here, and as well. And finally, you have to basically provide time and resources for learning and experimentation. As I mentioned, the situation where you say like, oh, okay, now we've bought, for example, Cursor or Windsurf. It's not enough, right? We have to prepare for it, and so yeah, it takes some time, and you also have to plan it accordingly. So at the end, it's about being a credible partner to your leadership team. Of course, sharing the excitement for AI's potential, because we've seen those stories, but also keeping everyone's feet firmly on the ground. Think of it as like, training for a marathon. You probably don't expect to run under 3 hours race in your first month of training, right? It's kind of impossible. But you track your progress. You celebrate smaller milestones, smaller steps, and build up for this long run at the end.
Yeah, and talking about education and skills, what skills do you see as the most crucial ones, or maybe do you see any shift in terms of skills that is actually appearing right now? Because from my side, I will just give more context that I have seen a scenario like AI seems to be a technical tool, but actually what gives you is just focusing more on, for example, architecture, modeling a solution, on operations, on actually delivery process. And it is like we cut off the technical part of technical part, but and we can improve people, team management, operations. And I've told about with a regular developer about using AI, and some idea came to my mind that it was much faster learning how to be a tech lead, for example, who is just modeling a solution and decomposing tasks and giving them to a team. But the team is not actually human beings. It's actually AI. So it's like, do you see any other areas of skills that developers should focus on developing right now?
Yeah, two things comes to my mind, and maybe I will surprise you here, because they are not a technical skills. I believe that we can learn all the technical skills, and it's possible. Like we've seen this different languages, and people are learning this. But two skills that are crucial within this AI world. The first one is problem solving. We are not using the tool for the sake of using the AI tool. It's about the problem we are trying to solve. And that is very often connected with products we can see right now. Like, there are many startups that are building AI product. And nowadays, almost every new product is, AI product, right? The question is whether you really need AI, or whether you really need to say that it's AI first product. So it's more about using this technology in a wise way. Like, okay, how can I use it to solve a problem of a user, or my problem in this particular process of development? How can I approach it, instead of just blindly hitting accept all in your cursor either, right? And it's connected with the second skill, which is critical thinking, right? First, you have to focus on the problem you're trying to solve, and later, I would say it's essential to turn on and skill in critical thinking approach, because you can easily receive a stream of information from multiple perspectives, thousands of lines of code, right? Now it's your turn to assess it. Is it okay? Is it exactly what you were thinking about? Will this work with your product, with your code base? What are the things you're missing, vulnerabilities, anything like that? So that's the critical, like the key skill, I would say, to assess the response from this critical perspective, and also being aware about the places you've got no knowledge, right? So knowledge about the things you don't know, which sounds strange, but at the end, it's really important to learn it and train it, being able to, and being able to be like, a good sparring partner for the AI instead of just the one who accepts everything at the end.
Yeah, I really like this part about problem solving, because what I see sometimes, the developers just expect that they have some programming task and they just perform just code generation. But what what right now is actually present is like we can focus more on the product, as you said. You can more understand what you are delivering. The code generation, part of it is covered by AI right now. It's not like we are cutting off technology completely. It's like we still need to understand architecture, tech stack, languages, because we need to
Logic,
know
right?
logic, yes, business logic, and so how to actually develop the solution, how to design the solution actually. But I don't need to write code for the 1,000th time. It's what can actually AI perfectly do. And it's like we are just shifting a little bit into more product and delivering side. And is it like developers are actually becoming consultants right now? Do you see it like it's some kind of shift of what you actually expect from developers?
And yeah, it's. I'm not sure whether I would say developers will become, a full consultant, but definitely, it's important for them to one, be aware of multiple aspects of the code, shaping the architecture, as you said, taking care about the logic and being able to assess the logic, whether it's correct or not, but also not only the technical part. You've mentioned it. There is this with the AI tool. Now we've got actually time to switch more to the product side, right? Because before, we were so focused on building, writing this code that very often software developers had, not enough time to think about the product, like deeply think about the product and users. It was more like just say what are we going to build in the next sprint or in the next round, right? And I will have to focus on the code, and that's it. I believe with this we can shift it a little bit more towards the product. And if you understand the product better, then you will be able to, for example, design the architecture in a better way, design the logic, business logic behind the whole solution in a better way that is serving your customers, your users at the end. And you can leave the last part of writing code or writing unit tests, writing or QAing it, this all the tedious manual stuff, repetitive tasks, to artificial intelligence, to tools, right?
Yes, and what I also see, it's like we are really shifting into or maybe like this. It's not like AI just allows us to develop faster. Of course, it allows us, but the point is that we also can focus more on market fit of the products, of better value delivery. It's not like we can also go much faster, but we can also focus on adoption of the product, on your quality, on other aspects that we didn't have time because we need to basically code. And this part is right now perfectly done by AI, so we can just focus on the other aspects. So for sure, it's like there are new skills that developers must learn, and it also arises a next problem. Like for sure, there is some part of teams that is skeptical, and how to evangelize them to use AI, how to just show them that this is the way, this is the vision that you need to follow, and just adapt and use AI.
Yeah, it's like, if it ain't broke, then don't fix it, right? And it's a delicate one, I would say, because forcing something on someone or on a team could basically backfire spectacularly, right? So my approach here probably would be less you must and more what if, right? So listen first, and I mean really listen. I would sit down with the team and genuinely understand their concerns. Why do they see AI as a risk? What specific overhead are they worried about? Still respecting people's achievements and everything they did. The next step is probably about demystifying the AI, but don't preaching about it. It's not about preaching that AI now will do everything, but demystifying it. Maybe the resistance comes from misunderstanding of what AI can do for them. So here I would probably suggest some like informal workshops or discussions focusing on how AI could complement their process or current processes. And I would say try to think about what's in it for them. Instead of companies' benefit, I would focus on how AI could make their lives even better. Automating boring, repetitive tasks. We've mentioned that, right? Faster prototyping or debugging, finding this product market or feature market fit, right? And learning new future-proof skills. These things are important and are also motivating. So at the end, I would say it's more like pull than push strategy, right? Find some AI enthusiasts. I don't know, one, two, a couple of them within a team or teams. Maybe some team members are more curious. Let them pilot. Let them, share their honest feedback with the rest. You have to, again, here, you have to provide, enough resources and time for this exploration, just to avoid the situation we were talking about a second ago, right? Just, don't just buy tools and think that it's done. You have to carefully design it and make sure you've put all of those pieces in place. Also, we've touched this already, but measure and showcase the wins. If they do experiment, help the team define metrics to see if AI actually makes a difference, right? Time save, bugs reduced, code test coverage, anything like that. Positive results at the end are the best evangelist. So that's it. At the end, it's probably about patience from your side, from leadership side. Changing mindsets takes time. The goal is for them that they should and they would like to explore AI because they see value, not because they are told to, right, by someone else.
Yeah, I really love that because there's quite a big topic like organizations versus developer side. It's like organizations see a profit in AI, and that's quite obvious. It's normal. And the question in adoption is like how to convince developers to use AI, what it gives them, what pains it solves, and the proper leadership here is like about just explaining them how they can work with it. It's all about education. It's all about giving them time to actually adopt. It's not like you have a cursor AI and I expect that you are twice as faster since now. It's
exactly, but also your time, leadership time. It's not only one side where you say like, oh, now you've got tools and even you've got time, play with it. No, leadership team is also involved in this change. You have to be around this, speak with them, listen to them, check whether we are going in the right direction, adjust your strategy. Maybe you've hit, you missed the target with this particular tool, with this particular implementation approach. Maybe you should focus on another part of the process. Maybe, I don't know, this part is actually not a bottleneck. Maybe something else, right? So leadership team basically must be involved in it. It's not like you can, toss the toys and say like, oh, now play. It's all on you.
Yeah, it all starts with engineering leadership. It's like they are responsible for creation of the strategy and the general vision and the execution of this vision across a company and among developers. And yeah, without it, I do not expect that adoption will be successful. It's like it's not about just giving them a tool and expecting things. It's more about just taking care of them, giving them time, basically creation of the environment that they can learn and adopt to the usage of AI. And I think this is the most crucial part actually of it currently. It's not like everyone expects that it's all about AI, but what we see, it's more human aspect here needed. It's like this leadership and basically managing the adoption across the teams. And there's one thing about talking about strategy and managing this adoption, that there is a risk that some tools that we are introducing to our teams may not work as expected. They may not be that good that we expected. And how to properly manage it over time, just adopting this new tool set, new AI tool sets, as we can agree that each month we see next tool that solves something else. And we know that it's not like you can plan it basically next years. It's like it will change a lot. How do you approach to managing introduction of AI toolset?
Like you mean introduction from scratch, or whenever we've got a tool already and we are trying to assess whether it's working in the right way or not?
Trying to assess, and actually let's say that there is a risk that it may not work, and what then? Should we just focus more on developing with this tool, and because we expect there is value in that, maybe it's just too short time just to make a profit? Or is it like, okay, we should actually stop with it, and maybe it's not the best approach? It's like I think that everyone feels that there is a risk that it may not work out, but how to be prepared for that?
Yeah, that's true. There is this risk, and we have to say it like clearly. It's not a perfect solution for every single process, right? We've got different processes, different organizations, different cultures, right? And we of course have to think about this business part. At the end, it is some kind of an investment, right? Company is investing in this tool, and at the end would like to receive some benefits, right? So before making any decision, I would say you have to follow the process of understanding and gathering this knowledge, so that at the end you can make this as much data grounded decision as possible. So like deep dive first, deep dive diagnosis, right? Are we using the tool in a right way? Like, speak with your developers, understand your current process and how the tool is supposed to support it or not. Is it like, I don't know, too clunky or too complicated to use? Maybe it generates too much noise in terms of false positive results that you later have to manually sift through and spend hours on doing it. So first, assess the situation, check the current situation from the perspective of your team, your developers, your process, but also from the perspective of tool, right? Does the tool actually do what the vendor promised, or someone from whom you bought this tool promised? Is it a good fit for our specific stack, processes, all those stuff, right? After that, probably you should jump into this area of like, okay, so now we know the issues, we know the bottlenecks. What can we do with this one? Are the problems solvable? Like, is it the matter of maybe more training or better configuration or small customization of the tool? So basically, if the tool is not fundamentally flawed according to our process, then maybe there is just little effort or medium effort you can take to still use it, but enhance. So basically, you would need to assess the cost of fixing and the tool according to the issues you've mapped earlier, and also check the costs of quitting or finding the alternatives. As you said, we've got multiple new tools every month. I would say many new tools every month. So it's about assessing again. Okay, now we can maybe leave this tool and switch to another one. What are the pros, cons, right? The risks. And with this, at the end, so you've gathered the knowledge, and I believe now you are in a position of making the decisions whether to continue this effort or continue using this tool with some improvements, changes, or basically pull the plug, cut losses, and switch to something different. Sometimes the bravest or the smartest decision is to cut your losses, and you should also early and openly communicate this. Through the entire process, I would say the communication is the key to understand it on multiple levels, from the team perspective, from the management perspective, from the company perspective, right?
Yeah, exactly. And talking about communication, that there is one big area that may not work. As you have said, it's like all about the assessment, because there can be many reasons why it is not working. And there is one scenario that I think is quite common. It's like what I call it is this cheating moment. And many developers just think that for example, I'm from a generation that I was taught about engineering craftsmanship, all about craftsmanship, quality. And right now, it looks like it's it's not my work. It's like I achieved a lot, and this is all about actually changing the mindset. And maybe this is a problem. Do you see that this area also may impact right now extremely the AI adoption?
It may. It's like, something like AI in the imposter syndrome, right? And
Yeah.
this cheating you've mentioned, but just let's take a look at it. Programming has always been about using tools to make things, easier and more powerful. From compilers, IDEs, frameworks, libraries. No one expects that you will write a code in the notepad, right? Because you've got tools that supports you, or nobody expects you or your team to write everything in assembly language, right? We've got those languages just for the sake of being faster. So it's not just about manually typing every single character, every single line of code, right? At the end, it's about problem solving, designing systems, understanding logic, and then using the best available tools to bring solution to life. And it can be AI, right? We were using Google for a very long time, and you're still using it, Googling things, right? The solutions for your problems.
Yeah, exactly. And there is also one area that also is related to craftsmanship and a little bit of people that are skeptical. It's like there can be let's call it a cultural split. There will be people that will develop with AI extremely well, and there will be the developers that will not use AI because it's all about craftsmanship. It's not like it is not going to work on legacy code and so on. And these things, it's quite possible that may work together. And how to manage this cultural split? Like we have people with two different mindsets. For example, there are seniors that are not gonna jump into AI that eagerly, and there are junior developers that are adopting quite fast to AI. This is quite a possible scenario. So, how do you see this scenario and the possibility to manage it?
Yeah, it's like the new school versus the old school, right?
Yes, yeah, exactly.
And it's a tough one. Let's be honest here. It's a tough one. And crucial here is to value both perspectives. Like there is no gold answer here that we should go this path or that path, right? To the juniors, I would acknowledge their excitement, their quick adoption of new tools, fresh perspective they bring, and they are often the ones pushing the boundaries, testing, experimenting with things. On the other hand, we've got seniors who should be recognized for their deep domain knowledge, their experience building robust systems, this approach of designing, putting those pieces in a perfect order, right? So in terms of how to bridge this gap, basically the more activities or opportunities you can create for them to work together, the better in terms of like sharing their knowledge. So joint workshops, show and tells from different perspectives, so that everyone can understand the way. You can also go in a path of reverse mentoring, where juniors can help seniors getting comfortable with new AI tools, while seniors continue to mentor juniors on foundational engineering practices, right? Lastly, probably it's about building shared ways of working, like this concept of contract within a team, how we should approach things, what is possible and available for us, how we would like to use those new tools, in what cases we shouldn't. Like, maybe we shouldn't automatically merge PRs just because the AI has written the code and we've got all the checks from AI. Someone probably should sit and review the code and maybe think about the logic, or maybe we've got part of the code base, part of our product code base, where we say like, okay, here it's like, the risk of modification is very low. We can automate it with AI. But for this part of the code, like, no, we've got human in the loop here, like guardian, because it's critical for the entire product we're using, for the users at the end and customers, right? So it's building a shared understanding and this contract of how we would like to use, in what places, and what this will give us at the end.
I really like that. It's basically it's all about communication still. It's like the feedback and what we agree on. So it's like there is still this human aspect that also is is necessary here. Okay, I have two last questions, but I also encourage our viewers to ask questions to chat. We try to answer them, or at the end there is expected a Q&A session. And from me to you, the second last question is, what do you expect to change the most in terms of AI adoption in the near future? Do you see any one just specific area that will change the most?
You mean in terms of technical aspect, or in terms of the approach companies should take?
Approach that companies should take, yeah.
Okay. I think, like, if I had to pick one thing,
there can be many.
Okay. One concept, maybe. Okay, this way.
Okay.
It's about building and fostering a culture of deliberate, small-scale AI experimentation with this, rapid feedback loops and open knowledge sharing. This isn't about jumping on every shiny new AI tool. It's about encouraging teams to identify specific problems, right? Or areas where AI could genuinely add value, then run small focused experiments like proof of concepts with selected tools, and to understand at the end, the potential pros, cons of the solution. And feedback loops, obviously we would like to do it in rapid pace. Each experiment needs clear, simple success metrics, or something that you at the end can assess, right? And even qualitative ones are okay. Of course, we would like to stick to numbers and quantitative ones, but in this part, or in this area, qualitative things are also okay to assess it, right? And lastly, this knowledge sharing part. Obviously, you don't want to reinvent the wheel again and again. So you have to build those connections within or between different people, different teams, to share the knowledge, experience, failures, successes, just to make sure you're moving in the right direction.
Yeah, and it's also all about also leadership, and it's like what I see. It's even more important right now. It's like this communication in company, and giving the environment for people to just share what they have learned about AI is even more important right now than it was before. Not only about AI, but actually speaking about tools that you are using. It's like this human aspect of just sharing the information, or rather experience how just to adopt to this new tools is even more important today. The second question: what is the biggest
Okay. Sorry, the biggest barrier
in
Okay.
AI adoption, AI transformation?
Okay. Yeah, that's a $1 million question, I would say. We've got three things, right? The technology, culture, and leadership. We've been talking about those three for almost entire hour, I would say. And from my perspective, the combination of culture and leadership, with this strong emphasis on cultural readiness, that needs to be actively shaped by leadership, something you've just mentioned, right? And to break this down with technology, AI tech is advancing at lightning speed. We've got explosion of powerful tools, models, platforms, everything, and it's these are increasingly accessible. Of course, the tech isn't perfect right now. LLMs, can hallucinate. There are security concerns, everything like that. But the raw potential and availability of the technology and tools, I would say, outpace our ability to use it effectively. So it's like, you've got a sports car, but you're still learning to drive, with this powerful car. So culture and leadership are the areas where I would, put my attention, my focus. And there are many aspects of this. With culture, you've got, of course, this resistance to change, because it's our human nature. AI is a big shift. And we've got our natural fears, right, about our job security, for example, our skills that may become obsolete or anything like that. Lack of trust is in AI. It's another one, right? This syndrome of, we were doing things in that way for a very long time. Why should we change something? Organizational silos. Okay, we've got teams who are more powerful, more skilled in using AI tools, and teams that are skeptical or afraid about it. So as a culture and also leadership connected with this, we've touched the strategy a little bit. And if leaders don't have a clear picture of how AI supports, business goals, and they cannot communicate that vision, those initiatives will be very scattered and without a direction, right? So vision, strategy of this adoption is really really important, I would say. So, in a nutshell, the technology part is largely there and getting better by the day, but without strong leadership that sets clear vision, invests in people and process change, and actively cultivates the culture of openness, experimentation, and continuous learning, even the best tech won't be adopted effectively, I think.
Well, one thing that came to my mind, it's like the biggest barrier is actually time. Time for us just to adopt, basically to use it effectively, because we have great tools, but we don't know how to use them really effectively, especially in terms of engineering teams, not only in terms of me as a developer, but also in terms of teams, in terms of organizations, products, and so on. Okay, there is one question from the audience about how can you assess and mitigate the legal and ethical risk associated with third-party AI usage. So this is actually the question about how to convince, let's call it, how to convince business in terms of using AI in terms of legal aspects.
And it's a hard one. It's a hard one, definitely, because we've got, we are trying to build, or prepare the laws that will be and that will protect users, that will support, for example, security or anything like that. We can see companies that struggle or that have this fear of adopting the tool. So it's very hard to answer it in like one sentence that there's just one solution for it. Definitely, it's a joint effort of a team, like the legal team, the business team, maybe even the people using it, right? To find out the path, right? What's possible, what's not, how we should use it. How should we anonymize the data, right? While using the tool. I believe it can be, somehow accomplished in the term of like, okay, we can find a solution agreement, like joint agreement, where we see, of course, there is a risk because there will be a risk, but with these guardrails we set up for our company, we feel quite comfortable with this risk. And it's probably about finding this balance of being comfortable with risk.
Yeah, and it's also I think about also evangelization to business, about what is actually AI and what legal concerns are actually there, because I think that there is the most of the just being afraid is basically because the lack of knowledge. And of course, everyone then assumes that there's a risk, and it's quite sure, but it also works for developers and business as well. We need to evangelize both sides about this tool. What is it? How we can use it? And what are the actual risks in there? Okay, there are no other questions, so I do think that we can start to finish. And yeah, we talked a lot about AI adoption. As you can all see, it's quite a big topic, but the most common aspect that we talk about is still about leadership, about communication, about mindset. And yeah, it's there is quite about a time that needs to be actually given to actually adopt effectively in using AI, also in terms of giving time to developers to adopt it precisely and to use it effectively, because it's not like as an organization we just jump there and say use AI and we expect twice faster with good software development. It's like it's not actually how it should look like. Still leadership is needed here, still cultural mindset is shift is needed there, and managing it. Okay, I think that that's all. Thank you very much, Michał. Thank you very much for your thoughts and insights. I do hope that you enjoyed our conversations and the audience enjoyed. Thank you very much, and see you again.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye, and see, and have a good afternoon to everybody. Thank you very much. Bye.
Yeah, bye.